Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to make a pleated back vent for your skirts and dresses. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothings Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so. And do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! I'll be working with the following items: tape measure, my fabric of choice, ruler, pins, marker pen, a pair of fabric scissors, a pair of paper scissors, the back basic skirt pattern paper. So I have here the skirt pattern for the back, and it is on the back skirt pattern that the back vent will be created. I have already drawn a 1-inch zip allowance at the center back, and the back vent will be created 10 inches above the hem of the skirt. If the skirt is a full-length skirt, you can make the vent as long as 20 inches. But in this case, it is just a short skirt, so I'll make the length of the back vent 10 inches long. I will paint the back skirt pattern on this pattern paper like this. Then I will draw out 2 horizontal lines, one at the 10-inch point where the back vent is supposed to end and another at the hem of the skirt. I will now measure and mark the positions of the pleat. Each pleat will be 1.5 inches wide, and the space in between each pleat will also be 1.5 inches wide. I want the back vent to have 4 pleats. To have 4 pleats, I have to draw 8 columns, and each column will be 1.5 inches wide. I will add half an inch seam allowance after the 8th column, making it a total of 9 columns. I will cut out the new pattern. Using a tracing wheel, I will trace out the zip allowance line like this. I will remove the old pattern from the new one. I will draw out the zip allowance line on the new pattern like this. I will label the center back and the zip allowance. I will label the pleats and the space in between the pleats. This is how the pleats will be folded in place on the fabric, stacked up on top one another like this. The pleats will have a backing. The pleats will have a backing, or should I call it a cover, at the other side of the pleats. I have to calculate how wide the backing should be. The zip allowance at the center back of the skirt pattern is 1 inch wide. So I will write down the 1 inch. The pleats are 1.5 inches wide. So I will write down the 1.5 inches. And I added half an inch seam allowance at this side. I will also write that one down, the half an inch. I will write it down. So the total is 3 inches. We have 2 back pieces, so I'll multiply the 3 inches by 2, and this is equal to 6 inches. So the backing will be 6 inches wide. The length of the backing should be the length of the back vent, which is 10 inches in this case. So the backing will be 6 inches wide and 10 inches long. So now I have gone ahead to cut out the pattern of the backing. It is 6 inches wide and 10 inches long. I will now go ahead and cut out the patterns on my fabric. So now I've gone ahead to do the cutting. As you can see, I cut one piece for the backing and 2 pieces for the main back skirt pieces. I will notch the positions of the pleats at the top and also at the end of the back vent extension. I will remove the pattern from the fabric. With the right sides of the 2 back pieces together, I will measure and mark 8 inches for the zip opening at the center back of the skirt. From the 8-inch point, I will measure and mark 1 inch for the zip allowance at the center back of the skirt. I will sew it from the 8-inch point down to half an inch below where the back vent starts from. So the stitching has been done, as you can see, and I've pressed open the zip allowance and the back vent. I have already notched the positions of the pleats at the top and at the end of the back vent. I will now go ahead and iron the pleats in place. The pleats will be ironed in place like this, stacked on top of each other. I will now go ahead and iron the pleats in place like this. The pleats will be stacked on top of one another. I will do the ironing on the other side as well. Now that I'm done with the ironing, I will bring out the backing. I will now place the backing on top of the pleated back vent like this, with the right side facing down. I will now sew the backing to the pleated back vent like this, right side to right side, using half an inch sewing allowance on both sides. I will now go ahead and do the stitching. So I will now go ahead and do the stitching on my sewing machine like this. So now the stitching has been done. As you can see, I will pin the upper part of the vent in place with my pins like this, making sure that all the pleats are well arranged and stacked on top of each other. I will stitch it in place using half an inch sewing allowance. I will go ahead and do the stitching now. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see. I will now go ahead and secure the top edge of the vent in place to the main skirt by sewing it in place several times, about 4 to 5 times. I will now go ahead and do the stitching. Because I want the stitching to have a perfect symmetry, I will make the length of the stitching line 2 inches from the center back on both sides of the skirt. The stitching will be done at the top, at the beginning part of the vent. On both sides, the stitching will be 2 inches from the center back. The stitching will be done several times on the same spot. This will strengthen the upper part of the back vent. That's it guys, we are done, and this is the final look of the pleated back vent. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye, and thank you so much for watching.